Liverpool could face more competition for interesting star as six-time UCL champion enters the race. Bayern Munich source provides update on Michael Olise after Liverpool interest. Manchester United, Liverpool, and Chelsea battle for English star. Hello, football fan! Stay tuned for the latest updates from the greatest club in the world. Marc Guehi came very close to wearing the Liverpool shirt. The Crystal Palace defender even underwent medical tests with the Reds on the final day of the transfer window. There was an agreement between the clubs on the transfer fee, but surprisingly, Crystal Palace backed out at the last moment, stopping the deal when everything seemed settled. Guehi's arrival would have been the icing on the cake for Liverpool, who had already made a splash in the market by signing striker Alexander Isak from Newcastle, also in the final hours of the window. With both signings, the club would have completed the window in perfect fashion, worthy of a 10 out of 10. Despite an impressive transfer window, there's still a lingering feeling that signing Guehi would have taken the Red squad to another level. His versatility, physical presence, and defensive maturity place him among the best center-backs in the Premier League right now. His absence is felt, especially considering the demands of a long and intense season. Even though some fans argue that the current squad is strong enough, missing out on Guehi leaves a sense of a missed opportunity. And things could get more competitive. With the defender refusing to extend his contract with Crystal Palace, several top European clubs have begun closely monitoring his situation. One of them is none other than Bayern Munich. According to journalist Christian Falk, the German club has Guehi on its list of potential defensive reinforcements. Bayern, who have won the Champions League 6 times, are considering a defensive overhaul. The current system's performance will be evaluated before any moves are made, but there are already internal discussions about a possible sale of Kim Min-jae, which would open the door for Guehi. RB Leipzig's defender Castello Luqueba is also being monitored. For now, Guehi remains a key figure for both Crystal Palace and the England national team. Under Gareth Southgate, he has frequently been a starter, even forming a solid partnership with Dan Burn during recent international breaks. This level of prominence further boosts his profile and has caught the attention of other giants like Real Madrid, who are also eyeing him for the future. Despite the growing competition, Liverpool is still seen as the ideal destination for Marc Guehi, both in terms of playing style and the club's need for defensive reinforcements. With the January transfer window approaching, the Reds must act decisively if they want to secure the center-back before another European powerhouse steps in. The club has a history of targeting specific players, as they did with Isak, preferring not to sign anyone at all rather than settle for alternatives. If Guehi truly is the top choice to strengthen the backline, Liverpool should return to the negotiating table with Crystal Palace and try to reach a more favorable agreement, especially considering the player's refusal to renew his contract.
Journalist Christian Falk has revealed that Liverpool are monitoring Michael Olise, the Crystal Palace player, as a potential future replacement for Mohamed Salah. While the club has already signed 2 new forwards this transfer window, Salah's contract situation requires serious attention. The Egyptian will have just 1 year remaining on his deal at the end of this season, and if he fails to perform at the expected level, he could be allowed to leave for free. Virgil van Dijk is in a similar situation. Both players are contracted until 2026, but based on their performances at the start of the 2025-26 season, any contract extension discussions seem to have been postponed. In this context, Michael Olise's name is gaining traction at Anfield. According to Christian Falk, Liverpool's interest is genuine, as is Manchester City's. Bayern Munich, currently closest to signing Olise, are trying to convince the player that his future lies in Germany, but they are facing challenges. Falk compared Olise's situation to that of Jamal Musiala. If clubs wait too long to initiate contract renewal talks, they risk losing players of that caliber to the Premier League. He pointed out that clubs should act much earlier when dealing with players of Olise's quality. Yet, this hasn't been happening often. Bayern wants to keep Olise, but is facing a dilemma. On one hand, they acknowledge that he deserves a salary increase. On the other, the club is trying to reduce the overall wage bill. This opens the door for rivals like Liverpool to step in. A high-caliber replacement. Last season was by far the best of Michael Olise's career. At just 23 years old, he was directly involved in 43 goals across all competitions, an extraordinary number for a player of his age. Primarily operating as a right winger, he was also used as an attacking midfielder by Vincent Kompany at times. His versatility and tactical awareness are evident. However, signing him won't come cheap. It's estimated that Crystal Palace could demand more than £120 million for the attacker, which would be a major financial challenge for Liverpool, especially after a summer of squad changes and important sales. Still, Olise clearly fits the profile Arne Slot is looking for, and if this past window showed anything, it's that Liverpool are willing to pay big for the players they truly believe in, as seen with the signing of Alexander Isak. For now, the future remains uncertain. No one knows whether Salah will renew, whether Olise will stay at Crystal Palace, or whether Liverpool will be prepared to spend over £100 million on a single signing. But with the transfer window approaching and other giants watching Olise closely, Liverpool may need to act quickly if they want to win the race.
Liverpool, Manchester United, and Chelsea are closely monitoring Adam Wharton, the young midfielder from Crystal Palace, for a possible transfer in the January window. At just 21 years old, Wharton has already been called up to the England national team and is standing out as one of the most promising players in English football. His name is now strongly appearing among the targets of Premier League giants, including Liverpool. Since joining Palace from Blackburn Rovers last summer, Wharton has played 49 competitive matches, showing maturity, game vision, tactical intelligence, and impressive passing accuracy. His playing style has been compared to Michael Carrick's, but with more mobility and intensity, making him even more interesting for clubs that value midfielders who can control the pace of the game. At Manchester United, he is seen as the ideal replacement for Casemiro, who is expected to leave the club at the end of the season. Sources indicate that coach Ruben Amorim has already approved Wharton's name, and a proposal was made in the summer, but Crystal Palace rejected it. At that time, the value was around £100 million. Now, rumors suggest that this price could drop to about £60 million in January, mainly because the player would be interested in playing for a club involved in European competitions, which clearly favors Liverpool. Wharton fits perfectly the profile Liverpool is looking for. Even with recent signings like Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Endo, the team still lacks a midfielder capable of playing deeper, dictating the tempo and connecting defense and attack smoothly. Thiago is unlikely to be part of the team's future, and Wharton represents a modern, young, and high-quality solution for the position. With several clubs, including Real Madrid, keeping an eye on Adam Wharton, Liverpool will need to act quickly and decisively. The club has a successful history of betting on promising young players like Gakpo, Luis Diaz, and Darwin Núñez, and Wharton could be the next big name. More than just a reinforcement, he represents the chance to start a new cycle in midfield under Arne Slot. It is a valuable opportunity to secure one of England's greatest talents at a cost that could prove excellent in the long term. If Liverpool wants to remain competitive at the highest level, they need to move now. Thank you very much for watching until here. See you next time.